Alright, so I find a lot of my time making videos about what not to do. And, you know, just when I think I covered enough, I got 2 videos on what not to do when it comes to the Chi Sao. So taking one move from Wing Chun, the Tan. I've made 2 videos with a ton of explanations on how to do it and what not to do. And still, I find people on the internet coming up with new ways to screw it up. Look, this is what it comes down to right here. If all you watch is this video, you'll get it. When we do Su Lim Tao, okay? When we drop down, we do Su Lim Tao. And we've already gone through all this, and we've already done all the punches, and I'm just speeding through it. When we go to the point when our left hand is coming out, that's how we learn the Tan, from the form. In fact, we drop it down into a Fook position where we're pushing. This is actually a Fook, even though it looks like a Man Sao Wu Sao. Remember on some of my videos I'm telling you that just because it doesn't look like a Fook either this way or this way depending on your lineage, doesn't have to be how it is. It's how the energy is. So a Fook is bridging. We've tanned and now someone's pushing back, and so even though we're in this position, we're actually doing a Fook, and you want to force, even though you're going back, you're visualizing someone pushing and pushing and pushing on you, and you're actually pushing back so that if they let go, you're hitting. Okay, it's automatic. It's not a let go and then an attack. It's a let go, and because they let go, you've attacked. So you do the Tan from Su Lim Tao, the first form. So you're dropped down, you're doing the Tan, and you're coming back. This is actually a Fook, and this is a Fook too. Even though we're doing Man Sao and Wu Sao, but we're pulling back, we want to visualize that we're bridged on someone and we're pushing against them, but they're just too strong and they're cutting us back. So at the end, you're dropping to the actual look of Fook, and you're coming back. And then we hoon, and different people will do the hoon different, okay? So in different styles, there's the hoon, or some styles, they'll actually turn the wrist, and they'll do all this stuff. In my lineage, we'll just do a regular hoon in a small circle. We don't have to do that, okay? But they're practicing this exercise of limbering the wrist and moving, and even though they're going up and down, left and right, this is actually them practicing the hoon, because they're trying to get only their wrists to move. So they're still, in a way, if you punch, they're still going to come down and they're still going to do a hoon, but it's a little more rigid. What in my lineage may not be your lineage, but in my lineage, after we've done the Tan, we hoon this way, we come back. This is Man Sao Wu Sao, but we're still doing a Fook. And now we're doing another Fook, and we're still pushing. We go back to Tan. So the Wing Chun is the verb. So the point of this is that in Su Lim Tao, you're learning how to do Tan. This is how you do Tan. I've done this on so many videos. So if you see someone doing a move, and they're doing it different from the form, it's wrong. It's that simple. You see someone, when you're doing the Pak, how do we learn Pak? Well, from here, this is our Pak. The reason that you are doing it back here from a chambered punch, and Wing Chun doesn't chamber. Wing Chun does not chamber. We don't even chamber from here. See, I'm coming back to chamber. This is the chamber. In Wing Chun, our chamber is coming back to Man Sao or Wu Sao. That's our chamber. But I'm always in the middle. You see, I'm always in the middle. No matter what I'm doing, my hands are always there. There's always an active hand there. In other words, I'm not punching with one hand back here and then pulling this hand back to fire this hand. No. When this hand attacks, it goes back to set either here or here, period. If you're throwing punches at me too fast and I punch, whether I missed you or not, whether I hit you, you blocked, or I missed you, this is going to go back to a motion of resting here. This is where this 1-inch punch comes from. Because what if I've punched you in the face, went back to rest, I'm waiting on you to throw another punch, you have not, so I hit you again from just here. That's the 1-inch punch or 3-inch punch. Sometimes it's a no-edge punch. Sometimes you've already hit the guy and he's not done anything yet, and you want to hit him again. No-edge punch. So if they are doing it different from the form, if they're doing it different from the form, you're coming in here, then it's wrong. So I see people now doing a tan, and they're pulling it back, and they're getting their elbow to their side, not at the nipple line. You should have one fist distance, make a fist, and your elbow should be there from your stomach, okay? Now obviously if you're fat and you got a giant stomach, because I'm hunched over a lot, guys. Even when I'm sitting here doing the wooden dummy, and from the camera angle, I'm still hunched down unless I'm sitting up proper, and then you don't see my back folding. But if I'm in here, you'll see my back folding, because now I'm doing more freestyle. So if you're upright and you're moving, you got more of the spinal structure, so you can punch and you can kind of pop the spine, not the shoulder. You're not pushing with the arm or the shoulder. So when you're doing a tan, you're not pulling it in. I'm not going to meet this object and then suck it in, okay? That's not what I'm doing. We have gum, jump, and jut for that. Those are more or less directing down, directing inward, or pulling inward, okay? So technically, even if I threw up a weird elbow to block something, and then I'm bridging the guy, touching him, and I'm pulling him in, that would be a jut, technically. It's not a tan. But you get people on YouTube who are sitting there saying, well, let's do a tan. That's not a tan, okay? My old jiu-jitsu school, Manabi Martial Jiu-Jitsu, they have this move called the bypass, and it's when somebody throws a punch, they throw out their left hand to meet the fist, to catch it, all right, and you give with it. So you shoot it out and you give, all right, and then from there, you're coming in with the wrist, under their wrist, and you're going to move them here, all right? So that's the idea, the sidestep, so that you can get all these chokes and all these hits in and whatnot, and it is a good move. But when you've studied Wing Chun enough, you learn 2 points. For every move I do, they should be doing a move. So if the dude is going to throw a punch at me, and his combo is 1, 2, 3, but I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and he's only done 3 moves, it looks good for a demonstration, but it's not a live target, it's not realistic, and you shouldn't be training that way. Alright, I understand sometimes somebody does throw a 1, 2, 3 combo, and you do blocking, bust them in the face, and they pause for a minute and they do this. Or they even throw because they're hit, and they throw, and then they're like, ah! And then they're ready to get in the fight. I understand that, but you don't train that way. You train so that dude is just pummeling you with punches, okay? Because if you can avoid and get hits in, and block and get hits in to that guy who is not going to be stunned, then you're doing well. In Wing Chun, we don't know how many punches it takes to knock you out, period. That's why when we're doing the 1-inch punch, you got to shift. You shift or you step. And it is not throwing your weight in. There's a difference. You're not using your arm muscle. That's not what you're doing. Okay, you're shooting forward at the elbow. The elbow is shooting forward while you're walking. So there's so many concepts in Wing Chun. You have to have a teacher. You cannot learn Wing Chun off these videos. You cannot learn Wing Chun off of any other videos. I know that there's a lot of people out there like Master Wong. He's really fun to watch. He's a great guy. But the thing is, it's better that you have a Wing Chun teacher, and then you go watch the videos, and that way, when you're trying to implement something that these men have taught you, your teacher, your Sifu, can correct you by slapping you and saying you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. So when somebody's on YouTube and they're talking about doing tan this way, this is actually more of a jut. It would be considered a freestyle jut, and we wouldn't even do it that way. It's too much timing. Why go meet the incoming missile, whether it's a kick, a high kick or a low kick? or what? Well, it wouldn't be a low kick, but a high kick or a punch. Why go meet it, then follow it back, and then attack? In Wing Chun, we want to attack, 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 attack. Why not just meet it as you attack? If you do a proper tan and somebody's throwing a punch, you're side streaming them, okay? They're deflecting slightly off of you. You're gonna crash into their arm. They're gonna crash into your arm as you're hitting. This is my hit hand. I'm gonna have to get a better tripod because this one's small. So I got to step way back here. I'll get EG Kimyung. So I wanna. This is my tan. This is my punch. Now I'm not shifting. I'm going straight with this. So from here, the shift would be here. You can see my body's right here. You can see this board right here. It's almost touching my shoulder in the video. So this is my head. This is my body. Somebody's throwing a punch. I'm out of the way now. That's the difference between Wing Chun, bob and weave, and boxing, bob and weave. Okay? In boxing, they're going to have their feet down, and they're thinking to avoid the head. So when they're going to punch, they'll do this, but their full weight is being carried by their leg. So I can lift up this leg, and I'm still on my right leg. When you see people out there who are teaching Wing Chun, and they're doing things wrong, and they're doing Pak way out here, they're doing tan way out here. This is their tan. And then they're telling you, oh, well, we're going to tan, and they're bringing it in. This is wrong. You see this? That is wrong. You don't do a chicken wing. It's out here. 1 fist distance away. If I stand up straight, 1 fist distance away is what the elbow should be to the chest. This is a movable elbow area. Okay? So if I'm doing fook, if I'm coming up and doing fook, if I'm coming up and doing tan, if I'm coming up and doing Pak, my elbow's in the same spot. 1 fist distance away. Okay? So fook, tan, Pak. There is no such thing as doing a tan here and you're pulling back. So now it's at my side, my elbow's at my side, and my wrist is not even on my center line or my nipple line, okay? This would be the nipple line, this would be the center line for the wrist, okay? Nipple line, center line, this is way out there. Elbow, nipple line, center line. Now, normally we don't try to put the elbow on the center line. We normally try to put the elbow on the nipple line. So nipple line is elbow, this would be center line. We normally won't do that unless you're doing gone, because now I've turned. So from you, if you're facing me, I am at your center. My gone is here, now my elbow's in the middle. Same thing with bong, now my elbow's in the middle. Bong is designed for the oh shit button. You see something coming, it could be a high kick, it could be a roundhouse kick or whatever. I don't know what it is. I go high or I go low. I like to do bong crashing into the person. Now, Wing Chun teaches you, you don't ever do bong that's stationary. You don't ever do that. You don't ever punch, 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 whatever, whatever, and then bong. No, no, no. You got to turn. Every time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how they throw a punch. When you do bong, you're either shifting and turning, which I just did, or you're shifting, okay? You always shift. Because when we shift, our body becomes sideways and smaller, and I'm no longer here. Wing Chun's hitbox is from down here to here. So most boxers are thinking about avoiding this little hitbox here, the head. So when you're bobbing, my body's still in the way. So for Wing Chun, we're shifting, we're out here. See, I'm turned. So I can hit you, but you went past me. And the idea is I should be bonging or tan da, or Pak da, or whatever. And at that split second in time, if you're doing a bong, I do like to go forward and crash as I'm turning. I love it. But this video is more about the tan da. So it doesn't matter how many videos I come up with how not to do it. Somebody's always going to, tomorrow somebody may say this is tan da. Okay? I don't know, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. So if you're practicing on this and this is a punch, this is not a tan da. You see? That's wrong. That's not a tan da. Even if I'm going to do a jut, what I would do is I tan and then a jut. That would be a jut. Okay? but they're still fist distance away between my elbow and my rib cage or my chest. A jut is more pulling down. Okay, but you'd have to sidestep that. You don't want to pull down into your stomach, because then they're going to hit you in the stomach. But so that's the difference. So you got all these people, man, on YouTube, and there are some really good masters of Wing Chun. There really are. There's all kinds of lineages. The only lineage of Wing Chun that I do not agree with is the Ling Ting lineage, just so everybody understands. Ling Ting lineage is a joke, it's a fraud, it's fake. The man was not trained by Ip Man. That's been proven and shown. All of Ip Man's students have said that Ling Ting only took like 1 or 2 of his classes, and that's it. After Ip Man died, Ling Ting came out trying to train. He didn't do it during. And Ling Ting wanted nothing to do with Wong Shun Ling. Okay? So, when people are doing tan, this is your tan. This is perfect. Because from this position, my elbow's at the nipple line. My hands, it was center coming in, but then it's moved over. On a tan, you always corkscrew in. So on Su Lim Tao, when we're learning how to do these punches, and we're learning this, whether you do it fast or slow, this is your tan. So if you're doing tan like this, that's not how the form teaches you. The form teaches you to come out. This is your tan. Because by the time you hoon and you start coming in, this is no longer a tan. This is now a fook, and you're fighting the energy and bridging the energy while coming back in. Then you actually do the fook, and then you push out, and then you hoon. So you only do the tan one time. Here's where I'm doing the tan. Now I'm doing a hoon. I'm doing man sao. Now I'm doing a fook while doing man sao into a wu sao into a man sao. Now I'm doing a regular fook, pushing with the fook. Here's the hoon coming around. We got man sao and a wu sao while still doing the fook. So none of this right here is tan. None of this is tan. So the only part of tan is from here. And the reason we do this from a chambered punch, because again, Wing Chun does not chamber, guys. You will never. We don't even do this. Okay? We don't even go all the way back to the center line and touch our chest and fire back. When we're doing the chain punches, my hands are just barely moving. I'm going from here to here to here to here to here to here to here. But when I punch, I drop so my other one can come through. Okay? Maybe I should do it from the side. So if you stop this, I'm dropping slightly, and if you pause it, this punch is only dropping after it's hit. Okay? But when it's ready to fire, it's in a straight, vertical, upright, 45-degree angle going up. Okay? This is an uppercut. That's what that is. It's an uppercut. The sun fist is an uppercut. And when you shift, it'll feel like a fist. Now, as I turn, my elbow looks like it's on the center, but that's because it's from your point of view. If I turn here, and if I'm facing you without shifting, it's on my nipple line. So I've moved my center, face to face, center to center, and you've thrown a punch. Now, I'm slightly off, okay, but I'm okay, I'm allowed to. See, I can recover really, really easy. So now you're face to face, you're aiming this way, but I'm off your center. I'm no longer here to be hit. I'm now here, but I can still hit you. So from this position, it looks like my elbow is at the center. But if we just turn, I'm not. My fist is more in the center. My elbow's nipple line. So when we're doing tan, elbow nipple line, and the hand needs to come through the center, corkscrew it out slightly. Okay? Applying this pressure this way. Pressure doesn't go back. This is not anything where I'm hard. That's not what I'm doing. I slide through. Corkscrew. This is tan. It's really fluid motion, okay? Really fluid motion. My other hand's going back to the middle, preparing man sao wu sao. Always go back to man sao wu sao. If you don't know what man sao wu sao is, it's where you're here. Because you're training that when you throw a punch or you do whatever with this hand, it's got to go back to either here or here. It's always got one or the other. So if I'm moving, see where my hand is? It's right in the middle, and I've hit. Now this hand goes, while this hand goes back here. See? So when he tries to throw this really nice hook, it's so easy to block it. It's so easy to block a hook when you're right here. So, yeah, I mean, this is my third video on what not to do with Tan Sao. So again, Tan Sao's here. It's like in the forum, and you learn from this chambered position so that you're being forced back to teach. Because if the form opened up where you're already here, and then this backhand is coming up here, people may screw it up. From back here, you have to slither in like a snake. See how that chamber's right in the middle? And then as it's coming out, my elbow is sliding into the immovable elbow position. So it's chambering, okay? This is the chamber. What for the form, okay? This is nipple line. See, if I'm aimed right at you, nipple line. And this is center line. It's right on the nipple line, guys. So as you're moving, your tan is right here. Tan da is right here. That's your tan. It doesn't pull back. If you're going to pull back, as soon as you tan and they're still touching you, this now becomes a fluke. Okay, that's what most of you don't understand. So if I do this, it's a fluke. There's the punch. That would be the 3-inch punch, because I'm not even an inch or two off of their chest. So maybe I want to hit them in the chest. So as soon as I tan, I'm dispersing that energy, but they're touching me. Okay? They may even wrestle with me. I don't go back. If they're so strong that I'm going back, I flip it. I shift on the outside and I go to ball. If your movements are to be strong, your tan, if it starts to come back, you have to have a helping hand or you have to change the energy. So he's pushing here at the forearm or at the wrist, and he's just too strong, and say my tan starts to come back, I'll flip, and now his energy has gone this way. And he's in trouble because now I've done a bong, I'm still bridging him. And then look, I can either grab the hand and chomp, or from there we just do the rolling hit right to the face. So if you don't understand these moves, you're going to be bad at Chi Sao. You're going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Doing tan out here is incorrect. But you're gone. But even when I'm doing it, look, if I'm aimed right at you, my elbows are still in the movable elbow area. It's just when I'm shifted, this one looks like it's in the center from your position, but it's designed to be that way so that if you throw a punch and you're so fast, in other words, if you throw a punch and I've done a gon and I've blocked that move, that's my step one for your step one. Your step two is, what if you're so fast that you've seen that you missed me and now you've aimed again? Look how much ground I'm covering. Look how much ground I'm covering. So easy to go back to the opposite double gon. So easy. Or even to go to a bong or a gon. But when you're doing double gon, or you're running into Quan. Now here's Quan. It's so easy. It's like from this position, if I've blocked your punch and you're fast enough to try to get in, you're thinking I'm open here. Look how easy that is. That's all I got to do. If I have blocked this punch and you're throwing a right and I have moved this is in the center. There's so much shit I can do from here to here, and if you try to come around this way, it just becomes a tan. Now I'm going to try to step forward with it. I'm going to take away your momentum. So from double gon to tan da. So guys, you got to learn what tan is. There's too many people doing tan screw up. I see too many people doing tan here. It's not a tan. That's not even a jut. It's not even a jut. Gum is where you're going down. Jut, you think pulling it to your gut. Jut. So you're bridging on somebody, and it's more for lower hits. You don't really jut from way up top. I mean, you can. You can, but I like it more whenever I've blocked the guy and put his arm down a little bit. Now I'll jut. So now that hand juts, and you don't even have to do it from a grab. You can literally do it from the forearm without a grab. But gum, is when you're more or less pushing down. Say like, I don't know, like somebody throwing a really big haymaker and you block with a pock and you didn't mean to, but it just happened to be there, and the guy's still kind of there, and now he's grabbing at my face.